Back to more Pokemon White 2. So last time, we did the Love and Battle series, my favorite Pokestar Studios movie. And yeah, I think this spot I'm going to be talking about what it means to me as well, so that'll be fun. And yeah, let's look at how it did. Only 3 movies this time around. Actually, didn't make that much interest in us, so yeah. I'm guessing this one because I chose the dialogue option that I did. That's an interesting thing, but anyway. That's fine though. It doesn't have to be a major success for me to like it, so yeah. Anyway though, this time, like I said, let's finish the Yancy first because I think it would be very timely. The thing is though, is that it's gonna be a bit long, so I prepared something a little bit different for this part. But I will share how this kind of goes. I did talk about it a little bit before. I talked a little about how it works before, but yeah. What we need to do is we need to go back to a spot where we are able to talk to her. Also head into the X receiver, might be a good idea to register it. And then we need to see if she shows up. She hasn't. So if that's the case, we need to go to a different route. So yeah, I can put back on the Dazzle machine. Probably want to move this near the top. Like so. So then yeah, we need to go to a different route then. And boss is pretty good because yeah, apparently Reversal Man, that's a character then. Boss is not bad because a lot of the areas are connected, so yeah. So I believe, yeah, we want over here. It'll be very weird if, yeah, I, don't hit the correct spots, but anyway. It doesn't have to be the exact spot, but yeah, it does help to, look at that. So yeah, one of these is going to be picked at random, and then yeah, you can call her, and then yeah, you can progress the quest. We need to call her a lot, though, so yeah. And of course, if you're for tag, we're talking about Curtis, so yeah. So I think it's around here. I think it might be one space up. There she is. So yeah, let's call her. Oh, Rohan. Yeah, I can talk right now. My hobby is cooking. When I hear about good food, I go and check it for myself. Lately, the Castilla Codes of Castilla scene getting quite popular, so I've been wanting to try one. There's a long line every time I go there, so I haven't tried it yet. I should get back to it now. Talk to you later, Rohan. Bye. Alright. So now the interesting thing is that sometimes you can call multiple times on the same spot. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do is, well, repeat the cycle. Go back to Nimbasa, try the areas around Nimbasa, and if they don't work, we obviously travel somewhere else. So I'm going to speed up. But instead of only having music, I think I'm going to add some post-commentary to this as well. So yeah, that should be interesting. And of course, yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about, what the Love and Battle series means to me. So yeah, so look forward to that. Alright, so yeah, before we do get into what I want to talk about, I should mention during this I did learn more efficient ways to get the calls. Apparently, as long as you're in the area where the specific spot was, that will work. So like, if you're in Nimbasa, for example, if you just call her in Nimbasa, that will work, and yeah. I did start doing that later on, so yeah. Starting off here, I went to the specific spots, so yeah. Anyway, now I talk about that, let's really get into it. So of course, I mentioned that, yeah, Lone Bells is a very important Pokestar Studios movie for me. The reason why is because it's probably the first time I experienced a romance story, actually. So, and yeah, that's very important because romance have become one of my favorite genres afterwards, especially with thinking about, the stories I've read and also some of the games I've played as well. So yeah. Yeah, it was a very weird feeling. I felt this, strange feeling when I was going through those movies for the first time. It's hard to describe what it was. I feel like maybe it was like a flurrying of the heart or something like that. I think that's probably the best way to describe it, but yeah. there's definitely a feeling that while it is hard to memorize, I do. It's something that I will never forget, though. Well, the thing about that is that would be a long time since I really would get into the genre, but that during that movie, seeing all those good endings and stuff like that, that's what made me really that's basically like the starting point, isn't it? Like, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did if romance didn't mean anything to me, I guess you could say. So but of course, later on things would change quite a bit, mainly around when the channel actually started. As I've talked about before in my 5-year anniversary video, there's always seen the Sukiana, a very touching romance story for me. Definitely, definitely showed my emotions. I definitely, felt very emotional, seeing that. And of course, there was the Xenoblade games as well. I think Xenoblade 2, I mean, it didn't have, that much romance in it, but the relationships between the characters and stuff like that, definitely tugged at my heartstrings, that's the thing, sure. I think also, a lot of the emotional moments in the game is when, related to those partnerships, so And things that carry on as well, so, again, thinking back on that as well, again, I think another thing about it is that, again, that was when I was really young as well, so, again, before that, I didn't really know about, genres and stuff like that too. I only had, a basic idea of it, because, I did play this game around when it was, released. I'm pretty sure I got into PokeStar Studios a few years after that, so, It's that's really interesting to think about, so, I guess, while we're here too, I guess it's also maybe an interesting way to talk about, romance as well. Because we still got plenty of time, so I think for me, I think the thing about romance stories is that they can be very emotional, and again, they are very likely to tug on my heartstrings, I think, as well. And that's why, again, I really like it when I see, romance handled super well in RPGs, or just, really powerful couples and stuff like that. Although I will admit that, it is definitely very hard to, get right. I'll admit as well. I don't mind how, Fire Emblem and Persona handles it, but I think it's kind of alright in those games. Not as great as my favorites, I feel like. But again, they're still very good though. But something like Xenoblade though, Xenoblade's all about, those strong couples, it feels like. In some cases, so Xenoblade 2 again, Xenoblade 3 was also quite gripping too at points as well, so And of course Trails. Thinking back to those final bonding events in Azure, for example, I was tearing up thinking about them again. So again, I definitely have my preferences in the series. The weird thing though is that I still haven't really, gone into the vision novel space, but if I do, I definitely would like to, try a romance story. There's definitely a lot of good ones there, so So, that's definitely something I want to try and do later on as well, but anyway. So I should mention why, Trails is a big standout too. Again, it's mainly those final bonding events, but even bonding events before that, you see really good chemistry with the characters, and you feel for them too as well. Even someone like Tio in Azure, for example, and Zero, I guess you could say. Again, I still feel for her a lot, even if she's definitely not the main romance. That'd be Ellie in that game. So there's that. I mean, that's just that's just how Trails does things. Trails has quite a lot of great couples. Even if after Sky, the player can choose who they are, but of course in Sky you obviously had Stella and Joshua. People really like those two, so And that'd be one of the most powerful couples too, so yeah. And yeah, it would be fun to, play the Sky games myself and see it, blossom as well. Yes, yeah. Can't relate to what I'm doing on screen, but yeah. Let's just say that, yeah. I'm definitely very interested when it comes to, learning about new romances, so yeah. Anyway. So, again, like I said, it's definitely very hard to get romance right in games. There's like a really long video about it on the internet. Again, that video definitely showing that, yeah, again, it's super difficult to get it right. But again, those examples I mentioned, those are probably the closest, I think. So yeah, to what I like to see in RPG. Again, visual novel definitely has, the advantage because you can sense the game around the romance. I feel like it's a lot easier to do that. So yeah. RPG, you also have to think about, the gameplay as well. So again, that's interesting. There you are. I mean, another thing to think about with relationship too is it doesn't have to just be, about the boys and the girls too. I have definitely seen some strong relationships between, same genders. I think, yeah, probably one of my favorite stories in that regard is Blooming to You. That one also really, tugging my heartstrings too. It's an excellent romance story as well. Like, yeah, the big turning point near the end, yeah. I was I was definitely getting emotional when I saw that. Yeah, I definitely don't want to spoil that, but yeah, if you know, you know. So again, yeah, just romance just makes me feel this way, so it's kind of special to me. So like yeah, not much else really grits me as much as this. Again, the love and affection for a character too is also like a part of it too as well. That's also another thing that really gets you emotional too. So yeah. And yeah, I guess yeah, circling it back to again, yeah. Um Again, I think the way that, Love and Battles, shows it again, it's not perfect. Again, the stories are definitely a bit goofy, especially the last one in some regards. But again, yeah, they show, how, couples get formed, the different ways that can happen too. And also, yeah, the final movie too, showing that, yeah, these bonds can last, a very long time. So, yeah. There's also that as well. So, yeah. It's really interesting, but again, I think that's something that also got me thinking about too. Like, yeah, love can be a big challenge. I can't remember the exact quote, but yeah, I remember it, yeah, being very meaningful to me when, I read that. I think it was along the lines of, yeah, like, love can be painful, but also, can be, one of the best things ever as well. It's kind of like that as well. Yeah, I found that very gripping as well, so yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. You can definitely tell that, yeah, when it comes to, genres, story genres, yeah, romance is definitely one of my favorites, but yeah. It's definitely kind of weird because, like, I don't always need it. But again, if it is done well, though, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Like, Fire Emblem, again, romance is definitely important in Fire Emblem, but I don't think it's, like, necessary. But it is definitely nice to have around. In some regards, I feel like, again, I feel like with Fire Emblem, they don't always, go to. They definitely it feels not as much as Trails and Xenoblade in my eyes. But again, though, there are definitely some very good moments in Fire Emblem. That's for sure. Some sports that people really, really like. So yeah. And then of course Persona as well. Again, I can really see Persona as well because again you've got your social link, building them up there. So and then yeah, the payoff can be very powerful as well. Again, like with Fire Emblem, again, there's definitely some powerful ones, but again, like I said, it doesn't hit me the same way as everything else I've described. So yeah, so that's kind of interesting, in my opinion. I think it's just that again, it's good, but it's definitely not the main focus. So yeah, so that's interesting. But then again, yeah, and Trails is obviously not the main focus either. So again, it's weird to think about. Again, yeah, romance could get me talking for a long time now, can it? So yeah. Again, yeah. As for myself, yeah, I still don't really have a significant other. I don't think it's gonna happen for anytime soon, due to like the kind of sheltered person I am. But yeah, you never know. Obviously, and as long as the person cares for me, I think yeah, that's what's important, right? So yeah. So yeah. And yeah, of course, there's still a lot of romance stories to read as well. There's still, visual novels to play as well. I still need to get into that genre. I can definitely see myself liking a lot of visual novel stories. I think, yeah, one story that definitely comes to mind is White Album 2. I feel like White Album 2 is gonna floor me with, what I've heard about it so far. It's, yeah, one of those special visual novels, so yeah. So that'd be something I want to check out one day. We'll see if I'll be able to. Of course, I can definitely start with something lighter like Too Hot, for example. That got a remake recently, and yeah, again, it's just kind of, your basic school time romance, so yeah. So yeah, again, that's, yeah, mostly everything, yeah. Again, that small little thing that happened in my early childhood would, yeah, lead on indirectly. I feel like indirectly is definitely the right word because again, it's not like after I looked at Lone Battles, I wanted to see more romance stories again. Romance stories just found me again, so yeah. Again, though, I really wanted to share that, and I thought that yeah, doing Yancy's quest here would be the perfect way to do so. So yeah, and yeah, perfect timing because yeah, I want to commentate this. As Ray does, yeah, she's starting to blush now, so so she's definitely starting to pull for us, it seems. And yeah, this is where you get to meet face to face. This is a very important milestone, especially if you want to do a certain something later. So yeah, all right. So with that done, yeah, we're gonna go back to the Ferris wheel, and then we're gonna hook up with live commentary once again, and we're gonna see how the Ferris wheel thing goes. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, here we are. So, let's finally talk to her. Face to face. Again. Oh, Rohan, you came. I'm so glad. What? No, I have been waiting. I just got here a minute ago. Hey, if you don't mind, do you want to ride the Ferris wheel? And boss says Ferris wheel is really famous for having a beautiful view. Really? You don't mind? Great. I've been wanting to ride this Ferris wheel for a long time, but only 2 people can ride it, so I've held out this whole time. I'm so happy. I'm all worked up. Let's hurry up and ride, Rohan. I'm a little nervous for some reason. Strange. Talking to you makes me feel so happy. That's why I want to meet you in person and say thank you. I'm so thankful for everything you've done for me. I feel like I've worked so hard this job thanks to you, Rohan. I like it if we could keep talking from time to time. Okay, I'm gonna get going. Today was a lot of fun. See you later, Rohan. Now that that's done, it's gonna open up something very useful. But you know what? I'm invested. I'll probably talk about this more later. But yeah, these conversations are like, yeah, I'm getting very invested, like I said. So yeah. Especially though, it does definitely feel like, yeah, she really loves us now. So let's talk to her again. I went on a business trip to the country the other day. You let me visit Mount Moon and Silk the Ferry there. It was so cute. Teehee. Oops, I better get back to work. Talk to you soon. Yeah, now she gets some very interesting conversations, so yeah. So that'll be fun to show off as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna go all the way with this, and I'll show off the payoff in the next part because yeah, this will be probably the last one I show. And I think I'll speed up. I don't know if I'll have the commentary, but I think yeah, when there is I mean, it kind of depends on how the commentary went, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna speed up, and then when something interesting happens, which it will, I'll I'll voice it. So yeah, so let's get back to it. Yeah, I started noticing that now. The calls have been getting a lot slower for some reason. Anyway, let's read this one. This is another unique one. I believe this one happens after 40. That's sorry, I kept you waiting. I'm on my break right now. I couldn't help answering because I wanted to talk to you. It's voice only, sorry. My job keeps you busy and I was just about to collapse. Hearing your voice is giving me energy, Rohan. Oops, my break is so I had to get back to it. Next time I want to be looking at your face while we talk. Talk to you soon. Alright. Let's see what the next milestone is. This is taking a while. Oh! Yeah. That's the other special one, and the last one in your show. Ah, Rohan. I'm glad we could talk face to face. Sorry about last time. This hasn't from work also I accidentally by mistake. Sorry I wasn't there to answer you and took your time to reach me. I guess taking a break when you aren't supposed to gets you sooner or later. Huh? I was just told myself. Oops, time's up. Have to get back to work. Talk to you soon. Right. So that one, also Curtis has something similar to that happens to him as well. That one, I don't know where this is mentioned, but apparently, yeah, Yancy and Nancy, who's a TV celebrity, they're actually one the same, and then, yeah, that's where her other form came in. It's very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Japanese idol industry in a way. Like, yeah, loosely, I guess you could say. Like, yeah, again, this is a romance that, yeah, I feel like isn't supposed to happen because, again, she is an idol or TV celebrity or however you want to view it. So, yeah. So, again, that's very interesting to think about, I must admit. I think it's one of those things that, yeah, I always find very interesting when it pops up in games, like obviously Persona 4, and even Screamer mentioned it once too, so yeah. But yeah, overall though, this isn't everything. Nancy can, and also Curtis, they can help us out in other ways too, so we'll talk about that in the next part, because yeah, how it works is that after you've been to the Ferris wheel once, next day you call them up using the same methods. Then they'll ask to go to the Ferris wheel again, and then let's just say you want to bring a Pokémon with you that you wouldn't mind training away. So yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next part. But overall, yeah, experiencing this for the first time because I hadn't done this before. Yeah, I can definitely see why people consider it kind of a big deal. It definitely does feel like, you know, you're growing this bond. And then, you know, thinking about the other stuff that aren't, like, you know, hinted at. Like, yeah, that feels like, yeah, you get very close to her. And, yeah, she really appreciates what you do for talking to her as well. Yeah, again, it's really, really interesting. And, yeah, like I said, it's really cool to experience for the first time as well. And, yeah, this is definitely one of the few times that you get to see, like, a romance story like this in a Pokemon game. So, yeah. So I think that also is one reason why it's super interesting, so yeah. Anyway, we got romantic movie stuff being enough. So yeah, I think that'll be it for now. So yeah, I talked about why I really love Love and Battles, I talked about why I like the Nancy quest now. Like I said, yeah, this is a really cool way to do like a romance story in a Pokemon game, I must admit. And again, you don't really see them often either as well, so yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate it. It's really cool to see this in action, so yeah. Anyway though, next time, like I said, let's get our reward for completing Nancy's quest. And I think we're also going to be catching our last legendary Pokemon as well, so yeah. Woohoo! That should be pretty fun, so yeah. Look forward to that, and I'll see you guys again for that.